Oh, cruising right on through July. Good morning, everybody. On this Wednesday, Paul Ihander with you. Max Goren is here as well. You made it half the month. Put it away. Half the weird month of July where we have sports, but we don't have sports. But this July, we had a lot of sports and a lot of things still that we have plenty of time to discuss. And there was a nugget yesterday that got dropped under the radar. And we are going to talk LeBron today. We are going to talk World Cup today. We're going to talk NHL today. And ACC football media days are underway in Charlotte. And Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox, Adam Gold, Victoria Vodenichar are also a Vodenecker there as well. Vodenichar. They have already had a chance to talk with former Duke quarterback Darian Mensah. We'll check in with them at 9:30 to get a little bit of a take on what he had to say about why he left Durham and took his talents to South Beach. Yes, indeed. But there was a nugget that came down yesterday. I'm going to get Max's take on this because I think Caniac Nation's going to have a field day if they haven't had it already when the news came out yesterday. So it has been July has been an interesting month when it comes to sports. We've had the World Cup. At 1:30 tomorrow morning, we get the start to the Open Championship. Yes, if you want to watch golf from England, if you're on the West Coast and you're listening to us right now, you get it late tonight. If you're here, where we are here in the Triangle in North Carolina, in this great state, golf starts at 1:30 in the morning. British Open Championship. They start teeing off. The last groups tee off, I believe, around 10 o'clock after the show would normally end. So we have that coming. We have had the All-Star Games. Again, the World Cup I mentioned. And we've also had this month video game releases. EA, the captains when it comes to sports video gaming, have already put out College Football 27 and Madden as well. But they're also putting the finishing touches on NHL 27, and there is a change. The play-by-play in color within NHL 27 will be John Buccigross and Darren Pang. Bucci and Darren Pang. And this has created a little bit of a stir within the video game community. Because, if you might remember, in NHL 20, it was Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk. And then from there, they put in James Sobolski. And a lot of people were like, it's got a little bit more of an arcade, gamey feel. And a lot of people just didn't want to listen, and they just play with rink sounds. And now that they've put a new play-by-play guy in, everyone's wondering why they went with John Buccigross. And Darren Pang has a good following, but everyone's wondering why they put Bucci in there when they had other options. Would there actually be a better option, though, at this point, without just kind of playing the game on mute and with just skating rink sounds?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, obviously, more before. It used to be Gary Thorne, and it was awesome. The last however many number of years, it's been, I don't know the guy's name, but
6 years. 6 years for James Sobolski.
James Sobolski, that's the guy's name. He has a very arcadey, loud, voice. It kind of feels like a video game. I don't prefer it. It's a lot for me. I kind of liked when it was Gary Thorne, and then of course it was Doc Emmerich for a while, which
Emmerich. They still use Doc Emmerich in the arena.
Yeah, you can't beat that. So it's unfortunate that Doc ended up retiring, because if it was up to me, he would do it every year because he's the gold standard.
And he's got the time to do it.
Yeah,
he's got the time to do it. Come on, Doc.
Look, the number one priority for NHL needs to be making the game better, because it's been the same game for forever, and it's not a very good game. There's only so many ways to score, and it's not necessarily the most realistic. And then going this way with the commentary going to Buccigross and Darren Pang, and I kind of like Panger. I've heard quite a few broadcasts that he's on. I kind of like his analysis. Buccigross, I don't think is as suited for the play-by-play game. I think he's better as a better as a studio guy. But look, I haven't bought a NHL game in a few years, and this is one of many reasons why I probably won't get the next one, but it's certainly not the number one reason, which is the gameplay, which is not great.
But Macklin Celebrini's on the cover. There's that.
The cover's cool. The cover is cool.
Yeah, I know. I think if they should release just cover art and give different versions of it, and that might help a few people just kind of get involved. So I just thought I'd share that one with you this morning. Just one of those things that kind of slid under the radar of July sports. LeBron James courtship continues. The 76ers, ESPN is reporting that the Philadelphia 76ers have all been in communication with LeBron James. And when I mean all of them, it means like the big dogs. The big three, I guess you could call it there now, with Jaylen Brown traded there from Boston. Joel Embiid, kind of like the lifer of the 76ers right now. Feels like the Moses Malone for you old heads out there. And Tyrese Maxey have all been talking with LeBron James. And Maxey is a brother, so to speak, when it comes to James because they share the same agency, and they've done so for the past several years, and Maxey also calls him his big brother, right? There's that. And Embiid has been on the Olympic team with James, and so they are courting him pretty hard, much like Cleveland is, much like Miami continues to do. And now there's another wild card in this group as well, and maybe it's not a wild card, so to speak, but the Minnesota Timberwolves are now pushing very hard, where they've got ownership, and what a lot of folks don't realize when it comes to Minnesota, and they've got players, there's no doubt about it, they've got a backcourt, and just recently ended up talking about the signing of LaMelo Ball, which was very, very clear, and we'll play that for you here in a hot second. Remember, the Timberwolves, and he's considering them, have new ownership, and one of them happens to be Alex Rodriguez. And when it comes to star power and star players, A-Rod has that. A-Rod has that. Now, is there a lot of great golf in the land of 10,000 lakes? Probably not. I have friends that live there. I probably should just text them right now. Hey, do you have lots of good golf? And they would say yes. And I have a friend who played college golf there in Minnesota and had no problem doing so. I mean, at least when it wasn't November or December or January, where it's, you're playing more hockey with a stick than you are golf with a stick. LaMelo Ball was asked, and this is part of the pitch, what it means to be a Timberwolf.
I feel it can do a lot. I mean, I'm just coming here ready to play. I'm here to learn and just, give them all. It definitely means a lot. Just when anybody values you and sees what you could do, I mean, for sure grateful. So, like I always say, it's a blessing.
A blessing. A blessing to play basketball, a blessing to play with Anthony Edwards, blessing to play with that group there. Rudy Gobert is an all-star, when he's not touching microphones. The Minnesota Timberwolves are making their pitch. I'm making a hard pitch. And this is where, front offices in the NBA have to make some decisions. And I believe LeBron is getting close. There are signs that suggest that this decision could be made by end of Friday. LeBron is in New York starting tomorrow night. He's going to be honored by Time Magazine. He's recording one of his podcasts with Tyrese Halliburton. He's then recording another podcast on Friday with Novak Djokovic, among others. He's got business in New York, and what a prime, perfect time it would be. And he's part of another CNBC business panel. LeBron is loaded. If he's taken all his business pitches and he's treating this as a business decision, which his agent says he's not chasing rings and he's not chasing money, just looking for a good landing spot. Great. So at least there's a desire to play. I question that he's not looking for championships, though. I'm not sure that LeBron would, again, this is where it rules out places like the Pelicans. This is where it rules out places like Houston, perhaps. You're not thinking about the Utah Jazz, right? You're thinking about places where you're going to win, and it's not ring chasing, but it is ring chasing if he goes to a place like Golden State, who feels like they're still in the mix. One of the variables as part of this that isn't being talked about, I believe, enough, is that when he ended up with the Lakers ended up picking Bronny James. Bronny James, I believe, is part of this deal. As much as they say it isn't, it has to be. Why would you... Well, he can go out and make his own thing and whatever it is. I'm like, would you really believe that his career arc, his career trajectory at this point in his life would not, hey, I'm coming here. Maybe you could add him as part of that mix.
I don't know. I feel like LeBron has done
I think
everything.
You have to have the discussion.
There's a discussion to be had for sure, but I think he's kind of done his job already. They got to play together. He got Bronny into the NBA. He got him a guaranteed contract for next season. I don't know if there's anything happening beyond that. He's already got the contract guaranteed for the Lakers. I don't know if the Lakers are just going to be surely if whatever team LeBron ends up going to is we'll trade you assets for Bronny James, I'm sure the Lakers would be like, absolutely, here you go. But I don't think that it's necessarily has to be part of the deal. I mean, I could see it being kind of like a Thanasis Antetokounmpo situation. Although I don't know if
how many more of those
I don't know if the
are
Heat.
there?
I don't know if the Heat have acquired any of the fellow Antetokounmpos. So
The brotherhood there.
there's only so much that you could do for a player that is, I guess, kind of on the fringes. At the same time, for the teams, like, it probably doesn't cost much to acquire, and you can throw them on a two-way, and it doesn't really affect your cap situation or your roster build that much. But I mean, I guess there's definitely a conversation to be had. Like, if LeBron really wants that to be the case and still wants to be on the same team as Bronny, I guess he could kind of mandate that to happen. But I feel like he's kind of mission accomplished in terms of Bronny at this point.
If James's family does not relocate from Los Angeles, Front Office Sports is out with an article suggesting that Golden State would be the likely landing spot. He wouldn't be far from family. As Steph Curry said when he was playing at the celebrity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe prior to the weekend, we have lots of good golf here. Lots of good golf here. And the expectation would be if he stays out west, that's where it would be. Otherwise, everything is shifting him to the Eastern Conference for at least his 24th season and perhaps a 25th. And a lot of folks suggest that Cleveland is the landing spot, even with all the extra things that come along with, hey, you should come here and play with us here in Philadelphia, or hey, you should come down to Miami and run it back with the same group that you're very familiar with, that Cleveland's the place because it is close to home. And if there's anything that he would want towards the end of his career, can't speak for King James, obviously, but it's fodder for us this morning, is that he would want to be near family, relatively speaking, within a quick private jet flight or a quick black limousine ride or black car drive to wherever he would want to be. And those two situations would be Golden State and Cleveland. That's where those spots would be. So maybe we know, maybe we don't. Michelle Smallman of ESPN Unsportsmanlike actually got to talk about sports and says James has made his decision.
Everything that we're hearing from Rich Paul and from Shams and others who are reporting on this indicates that he's heard everything he needs to hear. When Shams is talking about the voice notes and Rich Paul has passed them along to LeBron, it makes you think that these teams have made their best pitch to him and he knows what he's doing. It's just a matter of how am I going to deploy this information.
And that's where the end of this week is important for James. Knowing that he came out publicly and said, they were like, hey, he's not coming back to Los Angeles. He's going to test free agency, opt out. Right, go into free agency. We know teams will sign him. He's not a broken-down car in the middle of the road. He's got lots of miles on it, but trust me, it's a dependable drive, and sometimes you can beat somebody off the line with him. It's pretty simple. So if he's already made his choice and already figured it out, the end of this week seems to be lining up for him to be able to make that decision once he gets business done. He's got forums, he has 2 podcast tapings, and an appearance at Fanatics Fest as well, which is in New York this weekend. There are so many items and so many things that line up for him calendar-wise that it would be silly for him not to capitalize on it if this is truly a business decision. Probably the last time we'll have to talk about LeBron until he makes that decision, hopefully, but it's pretty clear that whatever's happened, Philadelphia wants in, Cleveland wants in, Minnesota wants to be part of that conversation, and we know Golden State does as well. Miami's been relatively silent on a lot of this, so it feels like there's 4 teams in play. But Denver, I guess, is part of this conversation as well, but I'm not sure that they're legit at this point.
I'm Max Goren with 3 things you need to know right now from 99.9 The Fan. The World Cup semifinals continue today at 3 o'clock when England faces off with Argentina in Atlanta. In yesterday's first semifinal, Spain set a World Cup record with their 6th clean sheet of the tournament, shutting down France's high-octane attack en route to a 2-0 victory. The MLB All-Star Game saw the biggest stars from the American and National Leagues facing off in Philadelphia last night, and the AL came out on top, shutting out the NL 4-0. Yankees outfielder Cody Bellinger won All-Star Game MVP for his 2-run single in the first inning. Today is the first day of ACC kickoff from Charlotte, and 99.9 The Fan will be there for all the coverage on your favorite ACC football teams. Tune into the Adam Gold Show from 12 to 3 and The Drive from 3 to 6, both live from the Queen City today, right here on 99.9 The Fan. For all the latest news on your favorite teams, download the 99.9 The Fan app or visit 999thefan.com.
France lost to Spain yesterday. Warned you. Warned you about this one. France felt like that they were, as we like to say, the wagon, and then couldn't get anything going against Spain, who didn't park. That wasn't parking the bus, by the way, for Spain. Defensively, that was not parking the bus.
No,
Spain just defended like crazy.
And they had the ball like it felt like they had the ball the entire game. And there were a couple chances France got, especially towards the end, as they were kind of really desperate and down 2-0. And it was almost 3-0, if not for Lamine Yamal being offside by like a shoulder on a potential third goal. Which he made a great move and a great finish that would have made it 3-0, but of course it came off. But I mean, Spain, they've given up 1 goal the entire tournament,
Right.
6 clean sheets through 7 games so far, and just the 1 goal to Belgium in their previous game. Defensively, they're awesome. I mean, yeah, I know very well, having watched a ton of Man City. Rodri back there at defensive midfield, like he is just awesome. Their backline's great.
Humble too.
Unai Simon in net having a great. I mean, he didn't have to work super hard in terms of making big saves, but there were a couple that got on net towards the end that he was up to the task, and they just look very, very complete. So no matter who wins between England and Argentina today, it's going to be a tough task to kind of break through that defensive structure and find some goals, because clearly Spain very stingy in terms of defending in this tournament.
So here's where we're at with Spain moving on, and they will play in the Cup final on Sunday, of which there's a lot of sideshow going on, and we'll get to that. So Spain moves on. France will get to play in the third place game, which is going to be It's going to be I mean, it'll be a good game. It'll be a good match, whoever they face, but it's going to Mbappe has 8 goals. He and Messi both have 8. They are tied for the lead for the Golden Boot. There is that. And he tried to bend it like Beckham. He kind of tried to bend it like himself towards the end of that match and tried to bring them close. But France was outgunned, outclassed, out-tacticked in that one. And so we move on to today's action in Atlanta, where it is this a bitter feud, or is this a bitter matchup between England and Argentina? And again, you get top scorers in place. Jude Bellingham, Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane. I'm like, they feel like household names at this point when it comes to soccer. If you're not paying attention, that's where it is. And, of course, on the other side, you have Lautaro Martinez and, of course, one of the greatest, if not the greatest soccer player on the planet, Lionel Messi. And you would say that he's not the greatest soccer player, but he is, because it feels like Haaland without all the juice. Like, Messi is just going to be in the right place at the right time. And these two teams have not gone head-to-head for a while, but there's a little bit more kind of like national pride more than anything, and then the history between these two squads, England and Argentina, goes back years and years and years, in which you are thinking that this is another one of those even matchups through 90 minutes, and you might need extra time to do it, and you're going to need a special something from one of these names that I had just mentioned. Where I didn't enjoy yesterday's match, Max, was in that 21st minute where there's a challenge for a ball, and it's pretty clear, and while the guy did get karate kicked to the side, it was not like he was going to be able to stop forward momentum, and it just happened to happen inside the box. Like, if that happens 3 feet to the right, that's not a penalty kick. That's just a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, it's a foul regardless.
It's a foul. No, it's a foul, but I'm running into a play as fast as I possibly can. He's not looking at what he's trying to do to get to the ball. It was reckless. There's no doubt about it. It was reckless. But I'm like, wow, not the best way to start if I'm France.
No, not really. I mean, they
Just
can take
silly.
solace in the fact that they didn't score at all, and it wouldn't have mattered.
True. But, penalty kicks he wasn't going to miss. I mean, he just wasn't.
Yeah, Oyarzabal, in terms of the penalty spot,
How
is
automatic can you be?
lethal.
Yeah.
I think they said he was the first Spanish national player. I don't remember if it was first. It may not have been, but he hit the milestone. I think it was 30 goals for the Spanish national team in his career. So that was a big milestone for him to hit with that penalty kick goal. Spain, they managed the game so well too. Like, France had used, I think, all of their subs before Spain even used the first one, and then they were kind of just cyclically putting them in as time was winding down, basically like kind of time wasting a little bit, making some of the subs, but they ended up subbing off both of the goal scorers. The second goal for Spain was an awesome play, like just a nice like 1-2-3. I think it was Danny Olmo who had like a really nice like first time touch, and Porro like just continued his run and was one-on-one with the keeper and obviously finished it perfectly one-on-one to make it 2-0. And then it was kind of at that point you realize like I don't think France is coming back from this. Like the way that Spain's been shutting them down, how clinical they've been in like every aspect of the game. They're looking like and I think they were the favorite like coming into the tournament. Makes a lot of sense, obviously, now that they're into the final. And I'm sure that they'll probably be favored against, again, either winner of today's game. It would be interesting to see like a Euro final rematch of, I think that was 2024 when England and Spain faced off in that final. I think that one went to penalty kicks as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be a cool rematch. But either way, whether it's England or whether it's Argentina and Messi gets another shot, chance to repeat, it should be a banger of a final on Sunday.
England's path has gone through Mexico, 3-2, and then Norway. Argentina's path has been a little bit different getting here, although they have surrendered. Both teams are surrendering goals, but they went through Egypt and the Swiss. So if you look at, in terms of path, if you want to say a rougher path, England certainly has had to face some tests. Argentina, though, has been brilliant when it comes to goal scoring. They have not lacked touch. There's no doubt about it. They have not lacked the ability to find the net multiple occasions, especially in the last 4 games. Like they've found a way to come back. That was a grit test against Egypt for sure. But they are still finding the net. They find ways to apply pressure. They just need to avoid the Carolina Hurricanes' slow start, right?
Right. It's a lot's been made about their kind of path and their draw to the final or to the semifinal, but it's kind of laid out in how FIFA does the draws. Like the top 4 teams cannot like be in each other's knockout path basically until this point. So by virtue of that, you're gonna end up with 1 or 2 of these top teams that might have a little bit of an easier run than others. And that just happened to be Argentina. Now, I'm not saying they haven't gotten the beneficial side of a couple calls throughout this whole thing, but maybe it's not the grand conspiracy that we all see it is. Maybe they're just a really good team, and just by virtue of some bracket luck, they ended up where they are now.
It'll be an early dinner for Buenos Aires. It'll be 4 o'clock local time there when this one takes to the pitch in Atlanta, and in London it'll be 8 in so-called prime time. So you know the world will be watching. This one will be a big one. England and Argentina, 3 o'clock kickoff our time here locally.